Welcome back to our channel, Rare Coins Collections, coin enthusiasts and treasure hunters. Today, we're diving into a coin that has fascinated collectors for decades, the 1944 Lincoln Wheat Penny. If you have one of these in your collection or happen to find one in a jar of old coins, don't overlook it. This tiny copper cent could be worth a life-changing fortune. Stay tuned, because by the end of this video, you'll know exactly why this coin is so special and how much it could be worth. Let's take a step back in history to understand why the 1944 Lincoln Wheat Penny is such a significant coin. By 1944, the United States was deep into World War II, and resources were being stretched to their limits. The U.S. Mint had made some drastic changes to coinage just a year earlier in 1943, replacing copper pennies with steel cents due to the wartime need for copper. These steel cents were strikingly different from the traditional copper pennies, but they faced many problems. They rusted quickly and were often confused with dimes. In 1944, the U.S. Mint returned to using copper for pennies, but with a twist. Instead of the usual pre-war composition, the Mint used repurposed copper shell casings from the military. These were melted down and used to produce millions of Lincoln Wheat Pennies, making them an important piece of history. These pennies weren't just everyday coins, they were a symbol of the war effort and the resilience of a nation. Now, you might be wondering, if so many 1944 pennies were made, why is this coin valuable? The answer lies in rarity, minting errors, and condition. Let's break it down. Point 1. Of the most valuable versions of the 1944 Lincoln Wheat Penny is the one with a mint mark. The U.S. Mint produced these pennies at 3 locations: Philadelphia, no mint mark; Denver, marked with a D; and San Francisco, marked with an S. Some specific variations, especially from Denver and San Francisco, are highly sought after by collectors, but what really makes this penny valuable are the rare minting errors. Some 1944 pennies were accidentally struck on leftover steel planchets from 1943, making them extremely rare. If you happen to find a 1944 penny that looks silver or doesn't stick to a magnet, you might have one of these rare steel cents, worth an absolute fortune. Another valuable error to look out for is the D/S mint mark variety. This happens when a Denver D mint mark was stamped over a previously placed San Francisco S mint mark. These errors are hard to spot with the naked eye, but collectors and experts use magnification to confirm them. If you find one of these, it could significantly increase the coin's value. Condition is another major factor. Coins that have been in circulation for decades tend to have scratches, discoloration, and signs of wear. However, if you come across a 1944 Lincoln Wheat Penny in pristine, uncirculated condition, it can command a much higher price in the collector's market. The highest graded coins, those with little to no wear, are the ones that reach the highest auction prices. So, how much could a rare and valuable 1944 Lincoln Wheat Penny be worth? If you have the right combination of rarity, minting error, and pristine condition, this coin could be worth an astonishing $100,000. Yes, you heard that right, $100,000 for a penny. This is why coin collecting is so exciting. Something as small as a 1-cent coin could hold incredible value, hidden in plain sight. Today, we have an exciting topic that might make you take a closer look at the pennies in your collection. We're talking about the 1945 Lincoln Wheat Penny, a coin that might seem ordinary at first glance but could be worth an absolute fortune if you find the right one. Could you be holding a rare gem worth thousands, or even more? Stay with me until the end, because you won't believe the incredible value this little coin can reach. To understand why the 1945 Lincoln Wheat Penny is so special, let's take a quick trip back in time. By 1945, World War II was coming to an end, and the United States Mint was still producing pennies using recycled copper shell casings from the war effort. This was an important shift, as just 2 years earlier, in 1943, pennies had been made from steel to conserve copper for military use. Those steel cents were problematic. They rusted easily and often got mistaken for dimes, so in 1944, the Mint returned to using copper. But instead of newly mined copper, they used melted down shell casings. This gave the 1944 and 1945 pennies a unique historical significance, as they were literally made from materials used in the war. Millions of these pennies were minted in Philadelphia, No mint mark, Denver, D mint mark, and San Francisco, S mint mark. While most of these pennies were ordinary, some rare and valuable varieties exist, especially those with minting errors. And that's where things get really exciting. One of the most sought-after versions of the 1945 Lincoln Wheat Penny is one that was mistakenly struck on a steel planchet left over from 1943. Yes, even though steel pennies were officially discontinued in 1944, a few steel blanks managed to make their way into the minting process in 1945. These rare error coins are incredibly valuable because they were never supposed to exist. If you happen to find a 1945 penny that looks silver or is attracted to a magnet, you might be holding an ultra-rare steel cent worth a fortune. Another important variety to look for is the D/S mint mark error. This happened when a Denver D mint mark was stamped over a previously placed San Francisco S mint mark. These errors are hard to spot with the naked eye, but experienced collectors use magnifying tools to identify them. If you have a 1945 penny with this rare error, its value could be significantly higher than a regular penny from the same year. Condition also plays a huge role in determining a coin's value. A circulated 1945 penny, one that has been used in everyday transactions, might only be worth a few cents to a couple of dollars. However, if you find a 1945 penny in pristine, uncirculated condition, its value jumps significantly. The highest graded coins, especially those with a rare minting error, can fetch eye-popping prices at auctions.so. Just how much could a rare and valuable 1945 Lincoln Wheat Penny be worth? If you have the right combination of rarity, a minting error, and exceptional condition, this coin could be worth an astonishing $110,000. Yes, you heard that right, $110,000 for a single penny. That's why coin collecting is such an exciting hobby. A tiny, ordinary-looking coin could turn out to be an incredibly rare and valuable treasure. Today, we're diving into the fascinating world of the 1949 Lincoln Wheat Penny, a coin that may seem ordinary at first glance but could actually be worth a staggering amount of money. Could you be holding a hidden treasure in your pocket change? Stay tuned, because you won't believe how much this coin can be worth. The Lincoln Wheat Penny series is one of the most popular and iconic coins in U.S. history. First introduced in 1909 to honor the 100th birthday of President Abraham Lincoln, this series was in circulation until 1958 before being replaced by the Lincoln Memorial Penny in 1959. While millions of pennies were minted each year, not all of them are created equal. Some rare varieties, errors, and high-grade specimens are worth far more than their face value, and the 1949 Lincoln Wheat Penny is no exception. Let's take a step back in history. In 1949, the United States was transitioning from the hardships of World War II into a new era of economic growth. Despite this, the U.S. Mint continued to produce pennies in large quantities. These pennies were minted at 3 locations: Philadelphia, No mint mark, Denver, D mint mark, and San Francisco, S mint mark. While most of these pennies were used in everyday transactions, a few rare and unique versions managed to survive in pristine condition, or even with incredible minting errors. So, what makes the 1949 Lincoln Wheat Penny so valuable? One key factor is its condition. A standard 1949 penny in circulated condition is common and might only be worth a few cents. But if you happen to find one in uncirculated condition, one that looks almost brand new, it can be worth significantly more, especially if it has a high-grade certification from a professional grading service. Collectors are always on the hunt for these high-quality coins because they are much harder to find, but here's where things get really exciting. Some 1949 pennies were struck with rare errors, and these mistakes can skyrocket their value. One of the most famous errors to look for is the D/S mint mark variety. This happens when a Denver D mint mark was mistakenly stamped over a previously placed San Francisco S mint mark. This type of minting mistake is rare, making it highly desirable to collectors. If you have a 1949 penny with this error, its value can increase dramatically. Another rare error to watch for is the double die variety. This happens when the coin is struck twice by the die, causing noticeable doubling in the date, lettering, or even Lincoln's profile. Coins with this error are incredibly valuable because they are rare and visually unique. If you spot doubling on your 1949 penny, you might just have a jackpot in your hands. Even regular 1949 pennies in high grades can fetch impressive prices at auctions, but when you add an error or a rare variety into the mix, the value skyrockets. Collectors and investors are always willing to pay top dollar for rare coins, and that's why it's important to check every penny you come across. You never know when you might find a hidden fortune. Now, the moment you've been waiting for. Just how much could a rare and valuable 1949 Lincoln Wheat Penny be worth? If you have the right combination of rarity, a minting error, and top-tier condition, this coin could be worth an astonishing $120,000. Yes, you heard that right, $120,000 for a single penny. That's why coin collecting is such an exciting hobby. A simple coin from decades ago could be hiding a life-changing amount of money. Today, we're diving deep into one of the most sought-after pennies in the Lincoln Wheat series, the 1950 Lincoln Wheat Penny. This coin, minted over 7 decades ago, holds not just historical significance but also incredible value in the world of coin collecting. Stay with me until the end, because you won't believe how much this penny can be worth. The Lincoln Wheat Penny series was first introduced in 1909 to celebrate the 100th anniversary of President Abraham Lincoln's birth. These coins, produced until 1958, are among the most beloved by collectors. While millions of these pennies were minted each year, only a few survived in pristine condition, and some even feature rare errors that make them highly valuable. The 1950 Lincoln Wheat Penny is no exception. If you have the right one, it could be worth a life-changing amount of money. Let's take a step back to 1950. The world was recovering from World War II, and the United States was experiencing a post-war economic boom. The U.S. Mint continued to produce Lincoln Wheat Pennies in high numbers, striking them at 3 locations: Philadelphia, No Mint Mark; Denver, D Mint Mark; and San Francisco, S Mint Mark. While most of these coins were used in everyday transactions, a few rare examples were preserved in near-perfect condition, or even struck with minting errors that make them incredibly valuable today. So, what makes a 1950 Lincoln Wheat Penny so valuable? The first thing collectors look for is condition. A well-worn 1950 penny might only be worth a few cents, but if you have one in uncirculated condition, meaning it looks as fresh as the day it was minted, it could be worth a significant sum. Coins with high-grade certification from a professional grading service can fetch impressive prices at auctions, as collectors are always searching for the best preserved examples. But here's where things get really exciting. Some 1950 pennies were struck with rare errors that can skyrocket their value. One of the most famous errors to look for is the D/S mint mark variety. This happens when a Denver D mint mark was mistakenly stamped over a previously placed San Francisco S mint mark. This type of error is rare and highly desirable to collectors. If you happen to have a 1950 penny with this error, its value can increase dramatically. Another rare and valuable error is the double die variety. This occurs when the coin is struck twice by the die, causing noticeable doubling in the date, lettering, or even Lincoln's profile. If you spot doubling on your 1950 penny, you might have a treasure in your hands. Even without errors, a 1950 Lincoln Wheat Penny in top condition can still be worth a lot. High-grade coins with sharp details and full mint luster are always in demand among collectors and investors. That's why it's important to check every penny you come across. You never know when you might find a rare one. Now, the moment you've been waiting for. Just how much could a rare and valuable 1950 Lincoln Wheat Penny be worth? If you have the right combination of rarity, a minting error, and near-perfect condition, this coin could be worth an astonishing $130,000. Yes, you heard that right, $130,000 for a single penny. This is why coin collecting is such an exciting hobby. A simple coin from decades ago could be hiding a life-changing fortune. Today, we're diving deep into one of the most fascinating and valuable coins in American history, the 1953 Lincoln Wheat Penny. This little 1-cent piece may seem ordinary, but under the right conditions, it could be worth an absolutely staggering amount. Stick around until the end, because you won't believe just how high the value of this penny can go. The Lincoln Wheat Penny series was first introduced in 1909 to honor the 100th anniversary of Abraham Lincoln's birth. Designed by Victor David Brenner, this coin quickly became one of the most recognizable in U.S. history. For nearly 5 decades, these pennies were a staple of American currency before being replaced by the Lincoln Memorial design in 1959. But among the millions of wheat pennies produced, some rare and special editions, like the 1953 Lincoln Wheat Penny, stand out as true collector's gems. So, what makes the 1953 Lincoln Wheat Penny so valuable? First, let's talk about where and how these coins were minted. In 1953, the U.S. Mint produced these pennies at 3 different locations: Philadelphia, No Mint Mark; Denver, D Mint Mark; and San Francisco, S Mint Mark. Each of these mints struck millions of coins, but only a handful survived in pristine condition, making them highly sought after by collectors today. The condition of a coin is one of the biggest factors in determining its value. While a heavily circulated 1953 penny might only be worth a few cents or a couple of dollars, an uncirculated coin with a sharp strike and full red luster can fetch hundreds or even thousands of dollars at auction. The highest grades, those graded MS-65 or higher, are where the real money comes into play. But wait, there's more. Some 1953 Lincoln Wheat Pennies contain rare minting errors that make them even more valuable. One of the most famous is the double die error, which occurs when the coin's design is accidentally struck twice, causing noticeable doubling in the date, lettering, or Lincoln's profile. If you find one of these rare errors, your penny could be worth a small fortune. Another valuable error to watch for is the D/S mint mark variety. This happens when the Denver Mint accidentally struck its D mint mark over a previously placed San Francisco S mint mark. These rare errors were created due to the reuse of minting dies, and collectors are willing to pay top dollar for them. Even if your 1953 penny doesn't have an error, its condition alone can still make it incredibly valuable. Coins that have been well preserved with their original red luster intact can command sky-high prices in the numismatic world. That's why it's always a good idea to check your old pennies. You never know what you might find. Now, for the moment you've all been waiting for: just how much can a rare and valuable 1953 Lincoln Wheat Penny be worth? If you happen to have one in perfect condition, especially with an error variety, this penny could be worth an astonishing $140,000. Yes, you heard that right, $140,000 for a single penny. This is why coin collecting is such an exciting and rewarding hobby. A simple, everyday coin from decades ago could be hiding a fortune in plain sight. What if I told you that a simple 1957 Lincoln Wheat Penny could be hiding incredible value? That's right. This seemingly ordinary 1-cent coin might just be one of the rarest treasures in the numismatic world. Stay with me until the end, because you won't believe the jaw-dropping price this coin has reached at auction. The Lincoln Wheat Penny, first introduced in 1909, has been one of the most iconic coins in American history. Designed by Victor David Brenner, it features the timeless profile of Abraham Lincoln on the obverse, while the reverse showcases 2 wheat stalks, symbolizing prosperity and growth. This design was produced until 1958, making the 1957 Wheat Penny one of the last in its series before the introduction of the Lincoln Memorial design in 1959. Now, let's talk about the 1957 Lincoln Wheat Penny and what makes it special. In 1957, the U.S. Mint produced these pennies at 2 locations: Philadelphia, which has no mint mark, and Denver, which bears the small D mint mark just below the date. While millions of these coins were minted, not all of them are valuable. So, what makes some of these pennies worth big money? Let's find out. One of the key factors in determining the value of any coin is its condition. A heavily circulated 1957 wheat penny may only be worth its face value or a few cents more. But if you have one in pristine, uncirculated condition, especially one that has been graded MS65 or higher by a professional grading service, it can command a serious premium in the market. But here's where things get even more exciting: errors and rare varieties. Some 1957 wheat pennies contain minting mistakes that make them highly desirable among collectors. One of the most famous errors is the double die variety. This occurs when the coin's design is struck twice, causing a noticeable doubling effect on the date, lettering, or even Lincoln's profile. If you happen to find a 1957 wheat penny with this error, you're looking at a major payday. Another error to watch for is the repunched mint mark, where the D mint mark was accidentally stamped more than once, leading to an overlapping effect. These types of minting mishaps make coins unique, and collectors love them because they are rare and difficult to find. Even without errors, a 1957 wheat penny in stunning condition can be incredibly valuable. The highest graded examples, those that have never been circulated and still have their original red luster, are among the most sought after by serious collectors. Coins that have been well preserved over the decades can fetch massive sums at auctions and private sales. Now, the big question: just how much can a rare and valuable 1957 Lincoln Wheat Penny be worth? If you happen to have one in near-perfect condition or with an error variety, this penny could be worth an astonishing $170,000. Yes, you heard that right, $170,000 for a single penny. This is why coin collecting is such an exciting and rewarding hobby. You never know when an ordinary coin in your collection could turn out to be a hidden fortune, so, if you have a jar of old pennies lying around, take a close look. Check the date, the mint mark, and the overall condition, because you just might be holding onto a life-changing piece of history. And if you think you found something special, consider getting it professionally graded to unlock its true value. If you enjoyed this video, don't forget to like, share, and subscribe for more incredible coin discoveries. Keep hunting, keep collecting, and as always, happy searching.